No, there are square pegs and round holes, right? So sometimes there might be something that you think is absolutely the right answer, the right policy prescription, but it doesn't fit into the square peg or the round hole of what the election is telling you, what the polls are telling you. And I'm not going to pick a specific policy, but how do you know the difference between something that you're willing to lose multiple times over, but it is a fundamental thing that you believe is better than everything else out there, and those moments where you have to move on? Now, I don't know whether you move on from things just because they failed once or whether the square peg becomes a round hole because people all get rounder the older they get.
Yeah. Mate, it's actually a great question. And the answer is vague, but essentially it's this. What does your party stand for? Why was it founded? What does it believe? What's the core? What's the spine of the Liberal Party? What has it been for 80 years? Why do people vote for the Liberal Party? Why do they vote for the Labor Party? Why do they vote for One Nation? What is the compelling argument that through your history has led people to support you? And those principles and values of the Liberal Party are well established. We get into trouble when our core values are not the major part of the political debate. So if you give away, the economic debate as the primary debate in this country and allow it to be about healthcare or the cost of nuclear, then you're going to tend to do badly. And let's be frank, mate, everything in this country, as it does in every country, depends on how well the economy's going. Every social service, every defence, every assistance to the poor and the underprivileged and the needy depends on how well the economy goes. And that's why it should always be the primary debate. But the Liberal Party will never win a spendathon because government funds are not unlimited. And this la-la land of economics that the Western nations of the world are in at the minute, where you just keep printing money and keep running up debt. There's a day of reckoning coming. Yep. It's coming in Victoria because we've got a budget here on the 20th of May where there'll be slashing and burning by the Allen government, who have basically bankrupted Victoria. So the answer to the question is, what are our core beliefs? Now, you see, I think nuclear is a good policy, important policy, should be in private sector hands with limited assistance, etc. But it's never been core to the Liberal Party's brand offering. Menzies spoke about it, others have spoken about it, but we never did anything about nuclear between 13 and 22 when we were in government. So is it a core value of the Liberal Party? Has it been the reason I joined the Liberal Party or anyone joined the Liberal Party? No. But free enterprise, free markets, freedom of speech, individual responsibility, security, national defence, well-managed budget and economy, they've been the core principles of the Liberal Party ever since Menzies founded us in 1944.
All right. James, what do the new ministers tell you about the potential way this government goes in the next 3 years? I think that rewarding, say, a communications minister who wanted to censor the internet by now making them the person in charge of the law says something. I think that freeing the distraction of aged care for the freebie-loving sports minister to now become the communications minister, who, of course, main form of communication is social media, is a bit of a sign as to the message they're trying to send, as well as, of course, the endless lovingness in and around the ABC. But what about some of these other appointments? What do they tell you about what Albo wants to achieve in the next 3 years?
Well, there's that old, I could sum what you just set up in 10 seconds. It's called failing up. Some of these people get rewarded for poor behaviour or even bad behaviour in that sense. But the issue that I see moving forward, look, they're going to get some of their worst controversial legislation out of the way first. It's always the way. It's why the Liberal Party are having their arguments now. It's why the National Party have had theirs. And bad legislation is always best dealt with at the start of a term. Isn't it amazing, though, what we'll see is greater debt, we'll see greater regulation, the cost to do anything moving forward will only increase, so your dollar buys less moving forward. My greatest concern that we're going to see in this next 3 years of Parliament, given the suite of ministers who've been elevated, is that there isn't a great deal of experience amongst them all, and those with any experience haven't really done very, very much in their term. It's going to result in more to fix up after this 3-year term if the coalition and other Conservative parties can get their act together, work together to get rid of this bad government. Mate, if I sum it up, you remember that band Milli Vanilli, the greatest fake band on the planet? They were never seen again when they were discovered to be so bad and fake. This bloke was discovered during an election cycle that he was fake. He stood for nothing, and yet what did we do? We rewarded him with another 3 years. I don't understand the psyche of some Australians.
Well, that's it. But, I respect the old, what the mob is always right, the people are always right. So, when they choose you, they're right. But when they go the other way, that's fine. That's fine, James. But right, last one here I want to ask about, which is AI. Interesting poll in the Essential today, the Turnbull Times, of course. 60% of people view the use of AI in Australian industry as something that's going to cut costs, but more importantly, cut jobs. Now, we just went through an election when nobody wanted to talk about it because, complicated and stuff and not as easy as I'm holding a plastic card or the Ooga Booga music just around another leader. So, this may be a slightly more complicated conversation than some people want to take. But what does that tell you, Michael, either about how businesses need to use it responsibly, or is the truth that people are afraid of it because, that's what it actually means?
Mate, that's absolutely true. Look, there are turning points in your life. I've never seen anything like the power of AI, and nor has anyone. Do we need books anymore? Do we need tutors? Will we need teachers? Will we need university professors? Will we need academics? Will we need TV hosts?
No, that's it. Artists.
Or commentators. Will we need singers? Will we need actors, models? I mean, the power of this thing is just unbelievable. It's going to replace humans in so many fields. It's just gobsmacking. It's breathtaking that you can just ask all these questions. You can get long, detailed answers to everything. I was in the car the other day with one of my sons and we were asking AI, where are we? And they were telling us exactly where we were on the Eastern Freeway, and the power is just like nothing we've ever seen. So, does it mean there's going to be big changes in the world in the next 10 years? Absolutely there are, absolutely. All
right, good stuff, lads. Appreciate it. We'll talk again next week where, yes, it will be a human conversation happening live. They'll now be waiting for generate. Maybe in a few years we'll see what happens. Thank you, guys. Do appreciate it.